well, they could always keep the party legal, freedom and justice, and get rid of the Brotherhood. But, you know, I think all this is a bit ridiculous. I remember very well when the British government decided to ban the IRA, but the IRA did not go away. I don't think banning or dissolving parties really works. Any intelligence officer, not that I've met many who are intelligent, will tell you that the first thing you don't want to do if you're worried about some kind of opposition is to ban it. Now, if the Egyptians do that, however, it allows them to continue. To provoke the opposition. We may suddenly find there are mysterious acts of terrorism in Cairo, explosions, which we'll all be told it was the work of the Brotherhood. And then, of course, the state of emergency can be continued in Egypt. Our generals and armies like states of emergency, as we know. It all sounds rather bad to me, but a bit squalid in the sense that if such a huge majority of Egyptians are against the Brotherhood, what are they worried about? They're obviously not going to get many seats in Parliament in another election, are they? Or is the fear that they might? Well, I think you see that the Egyptian press, which has gone back to being as toadyish as it was under Mubarak, is now pushing the line, which the government loves, that essentially the Brotherhood is a vast terrorist conspiracy. I notice the phrase that's being used in all the papers today is a malicious terrorist conspiracy, as opposed to the non-malicious version, I suppose. You know, what they're trying to do is to de-Egyptianize the Brotherhood, in a sense say these are not our citizens, these are not our people. And the problem, I think it's quite clear, is that there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands or millions of supporters, sympathizers, members of the Brotherhood. You can't send them all underground. You can't send them all to prison. You can't open vast prison camps, which they did in Algeria when they suspended elections in 1992. I think I rather get the impression, watching the army physically on the streets, and I'm on the streets of Cairo, that the army hasn't really worked out what it's going to do next. And I have a feeling that these decisions, you know, shall we dissolve the Brotherhood? No, we won't. Maybe we will dissolve the Brotherhood. These are being taken in, you know, a few seconds of conversation. There doesn't seem to be a real plan. If the Brotherhood is put underground, if we actually have violence coming from underground, whoever we blame it on, then the state of emergency continues, then there will be no rewriting of the Constitution, then there will be no more elections.
Right.
Or we can have a series of fake elections like Mubarak had. The violence comes from the Brotherhood. Now, we know from the Mubarak regime that many attacks that took place, especially on Christian churches at that time, we were meant to think it was the Brotherhood or some form of Islamist organization. But there has been increasing suspicions in the aftermath of the January-February 2011 revolution that it was Mubarak's own security cops who were doing this. And you've got to remember, when we're talking about you know, states of emergency and people going underground, that the security forces don't really even deserve the word security. They are, in fact, the only people really shooting down large numbers of people in the streets. They, under Beltagi, the government is actively, openly using, and I see it with my own eyes, the drug addicts who are paid by the security people to go on the streets and shoot demonstrators. They're walking around with clubs on the 6th of October bridge the other night when I went home after curfew from the Al Jazeera office here in this building. We've got to realise what we're dealing with here. This isn't a stable constitutional government that actually really believes in the rule of law. There is no law. That's the problem. When the police on the top of the Ramsey Street police station started shooting at cars on the airport road, and one bullet went between me and my driver when we were standing in the road, and my goodness me, he ran away quickly. That was not the forces of law and order. That was the force of anarchy. And the man who fired that shot was a police officer in police uniform wearing a hood on the top of the Ramsey Street police station.